actually, Cebu. How about no vaccine, no school?
Yeah.
That's better. You see it, shoot them.
Привет, друзья! У меня новое видео, называется «Интервью с иностранцем». Идея возникла, когда я пил кофе на работе с русскими и с корейцами, и зашел разговор про Северную Корею. Русские сказали: «О, как прикольно, толстячок, добрячок Ким, народ просто играет в пионерский лагерь, веселится, у нас такое было в Советском Союзе». На что им корейцы ответили: «Постойте, да там реально жесть, там реально концлагерь». А русские такие: «Да нет, это все по приколу, на самом деле там весело, это просто такая специфическая страна». А оказывается, что в голове у нас, у русских и у всех множество стереотипов, и мы не видим объективную реальность. Но объективную реальность увидеть очень просто. Надо просто поговорить с человеком, который в ней находится, и он об этом расскажет. И таких примеров тысячи. Это и про Америку, про протесты, и там, про Европу, про все что угодно. И как раз в этом видео мы и будем разговаривать с человеком, который находится в этой реальности. То есть я буду разговаривать с иностранцами, которые живут в Америке, на Филиппинах, в Тайване, и узнавать, как там. И мы узнаем, на что похожа объективная реальность вообще в целом в той стране и глобально. Смотрите, будет интересно. For my viewers, I would like to introduce. This is my teacher and my friend Shane Callahan. Shane is living in Sebу, Philippines. And originally Shane from Canada. That's why we will discussing some question about Philippines and about Canada and about global topics, something like that. And for today I preparing just a question from my family, from my kids and my wife and brother. And I suppose it will be enough because huge range of questions. So first question from my son, because he is playing in video games, in, I don't know, in Counter-Strike, something like that. So he is asking, where are you buying a weapon? I don't know.
Where can we buy a weapon?
Yeah, weapon.
Yeah. Oh, you can buy a weapon. Yeah. So in both countries.
Yeah.
The Philippines actually has a very similar gun laws, kind of to the United States. So you can actually have a gun, yes. But most people are very poor. So they cannot actually afford it. It's something that, they just don't need. This is a very safe country. But in Canada, it's very strict. Of course, both places you have specialty gun shops. But in Canada, most people who buy guns are like hunters, like my father. So that's where you can buy a weapon.
You know, it's really interesting in Russia because officially we have ban of guns. However, you can buy it for hunting without any restrictions. And this is my experience. I had a hunting gun, and after 5 years, I'm able to buy. I am getting a new license for rifle gun. So currently, I have a license for rifle gun, and I can buy it. So if you want, you can buy it in Russia as well. Yeah.
Oh, you can send it to me. I need it. I'm just joking.
Second question from my wife. She asked, for whom did you vote? I suppose this question it's because we had election in Russia, and she is interested. Do you have the same stories? I don't know, in Philippines and Canada, and I suppose you cannot vote in Philippines, but
No, it's not possible. Yeah. So actually, you know what? It's funny. Actually, Canada has, I think, a very low voting turnout is what we call it. Do you know what that means?
No. What is this?
So a turnout means like how many people come to your event. For example, oh, my event had a big turnout of people. So actually, you know what? This might be coming as a bit of a shock, but I don't vote. I'm more of a neutral guy, but I think it has some crazy statistic. Like I think something like, correct me if I'm wrong if you search it later, but I think like 40% of Canadians they just don't vote. I'm pretty happy with the situation in the country. Politics is not as important as it is in the US or maybe Russia, I guess. Yeah, do you know what I mean? Of course, I can't vote here.
Yeah, I understand. People more relaxed and they just don't care about this stuff.
Yeah, that's something like.
I just curious. Your very cute PM Trudeau.
Trudeau, yeah.
Yeah. Did he
Cute, eh?
been voted, or it's some kind of another election from parliament or something like that?
Yes, he was elected. Like by the people. Yes, that's it. Yes, it was a very close vote. Actually, I think it was like something like 51 to 49, something like that.
Can I call him not cute but handsome? PM?
That's better. But it's cute. Like you mean like cute, like as in like Japanese cartoon cute?
Yeah. No. I just forgot this collocation. Yeah, handsome. Yeah.
Yes, handsome. Yes.
Okay, so next from my daughter, and she was really interesting about forest. So is there any forest in Philippines? Forest.
Yes. I guess you could say
jungles,
like a jungle. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, exactly, jungle. Yeah. Tropical jungles, of course. Yeah, there's one. I'm looking at one. Looking at one over the mountain. There's a giant jungle on Sebу Island. The best jungles though actually are in the south. So there's an island. It's called Mindanao, and it's primarily the people there are more like Muslims because it's close to Malaysia.
That's interesting.
And it's very, very beautiful. Like unfortunately, they have some political problems with extremists.
I see.
So it's not so safe for tourism. But there's also some YouTubers you can check out later. It's there's a Canadian guy who lives down there. Maybe I'll send the link later. Yeah.
Is there some predators, dangerous predators?
Predators
in jungles?
No, not really. Yeah, I would say the biggest fear you'd have is probably it's an island country, so it's more deadly in regards to snakes and
snakes,
spiders, stuff like that, and centipedes and sharks as well.
Yeah. So next question from my brother. Actually, he is very clever guy. He know everything about every country, and just for checking his knowledge, he supposes that Philippines it's a quasi country of China. He supposes that there is no independent Philippines and it's some kind of colony of China. I suppose that is bullshit. This is like a conspiracy. What do you think?
Actually, I think it's partly true.
Really?
I think I've even mentioned it to you. I'm not sure, but like even the electronic grid in like Manila, the biggest city in the country with like 15 million. It's like Moscow, right? They 40% of the grid is owned by China. Not to mention all of the telecommunications, basically. So the Duterte administration really showed up a lot of warming the relationship with China. However, the Philippines is one of America's oldest allies since they liberated them in World War II against the Japanese. So basically, your brother is right 50%. But the Philippines government is playing it smart. So one day they like America, one day they like China, the other day. something like that.
Yeah. I see about maybe about Duterte. I heard from 2 years ago. I heard from another teacher that it was a really dangerous situation, and even though some people can be killed, drug dealers so close to that on the street. And is it so dangerous right now about that? No.
Well, great question. I would be careful if, like, I tell some students, and some students say I smoke some marijuana, or in Canada too.
Mm-hmm.
But if you brought that here, if you brought that here in the airport, I think you go straight to jail. So it's really risky to do that. And if you were actually here involved in drugs, like some foreigners are involved, basically the police have an order, what we call in English, shoot to kill.
Yeah.
You know, so just you see it, shoot them.
It's semi-legal, or it's absolutely legal to shoot them?
Absolutely legal.
Oh my god. Yeah.
And if you have a gun, and you know that you're like this rule is kind of semi-implied. It's not like 100% probably factual, but a lot of people in the slums, they know that their friends are doing drugs or dealing drugs, so they walk up and they can kill them. The president will say, "Oh yeah, great job, you're cleaning up the society."
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah.
Not so dangerous though. The streets are really peaceful. I'm looking out here. People are relaxing on the sidewalk, so it's very safe.
It's Singapore. So my brother suppose that the Singapore is the same like Philippines. So it's like a quasi country of China. The same? The same as Philippines?
I would say. Yeah, and what's funny about that, all of our applications on phones, like our things like Uber and whatever, Amazon, of course we don't use those here, but all of them are Singaporean companies.
I see.
So it is controlled financially, I think, Singapore and China, but militarily, from the military side, they love America. And culturally, they prefer America. Filipinos are not like Chinese people, in my opinion. They're more like Spanish culture and a bit of Americans as well.
Yeah. You know, I found some funny fact about Cebu in the Wikipedia. There is an article that colonization by United States during World War II.
Yeah.
So they,
sorry.
So they say it colonization, something like that.
I think that's a fantastic word, because when I grew up in Canada, they always teach us that, oh, you know what, America saved the world. America saved the world in war. I don't know. I think they were thinking of themselves a little bit, right?
Excuse me, it's not colonization, it's occupation, maybe something like that.
Occupation, yeah. But I prefer that word, colonization, I guess, because they stole a lot of things from this country, yeah. Anyways, yeah.
What about gay rights and something like that? Is there a pride parade in Philippines, or they hate gays?
That's a good question. That's interesting. Homosexuality here, it's Southeast Asia. So when you think about like Thailand or something, what do you think of?
I know about Thailand because before I visit Thailand, I got some cliche about this country and stereotypes that this is how to say pure. This is a bad country because of prostitution, something like that. However, when I visit, I get a message that it's just for tourists. This is just tourist area, but real Thai people, they're really, how to say, like Orthodox. They follow traditions, something like that.
Yes. Similar here, but there is interestingly a very big homosexual culture here. So maybe you think about Thailand as well. They have what we call in English a lady boy. You know what I mean?
I see.
Yeah. So men here dress up like women, if you can imagine. In North America, of course, homosexuals don't do that. For the most part, but yeah, it's not legal to get married if you're gay here, but is it accepted culturally? Yeah, 100%. But it's a bit of a joke. Like there are always gay comedians. Yeah. So people like laughing at homosexual.
Yeah, I'm just asking because in Russia we at the middle. So one side it's like Iran, where gay is hanging on the streets, and second is United States. In Russia we in the middle, and we are moving to Iran. So we have some laws against something like that. So I'm interested. What is government position of Philippines, or they don't care about it?
Oh, they don't care about it. No, I mean, and most people who have that orientation today here, they live together. Yeah. They just don't get married. Yeah, I just don't think they're interested in marriage. I guess they would if it was legal, of course. Yeah. Good question.
Yeah. And maybe some routine question. How the mango cost in Philippines? Is it the most tasty mango in entire world or not?
Yeah, you would absolutely love that. Specifically, have you ever had a dried mango, like a fruit, like a dried mango?
Yeah, I tried it one time. It's very very good smell.
Yeah, and if you look at the back of the package, probably it comes from actually Cebu. Have a look.
Cebu. Oh my God. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah.
Yes. So my wife's island is specifically known for mangoes everywhere, even around the street. There's mangoes. Really good, really sweet.
Oh, because for me it's the best fruit.
Is it expensive in Russia?
Sure, of course. Because sometimes it's very cheap, maybe $2, but it's tastes like shit. If you wanna really delicious, it maybe cost $5 or $10, something like that.
Oh, really? You can have it like this for breakfast every morning.
Oh my
God! It's tree
That's-
ripened.
that's
It's
good.
fantastic.
Fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. It's great.
What Philippines eat every day? Is it only chicken or something another food?
That's a nice question. Depends on your social status. I see, in general, richer people, they prefer like meat, so chicken, pork, stuff like that. The biggest staple is rice. Filipinos eat rice 3 times a day. Did you know that? Can you imagine? Breakfast, lunch, dinner,
I see.
rice. At 7 a.m. this morning, before I started working, my wife was frying fish and cooking rice for breakfast.
I see. That's good.
So fish is really popular. So that most of the plate, you see a Filipino person with their plate, 95% of it is white rice, and then 5% is a little fish or a hot dog or some meat or something like that. Yeah, that's most of what people eat.
I see.
Their meal.
Yeah. Questions about maybe TV and in the internet and the YouTube. What people are watching usually? TV or I don't know, YouTube in Philippines?
Wow, in the Philippines, they recently the government did not renew the contract of the major news media. So imagine like was it Russia Today? Is that a popular?
RT.
Well, RT. So imagine if if Putin said, we will not renew the contract of RT, and then people cannot watch it anymore. So that's what happened here. All of the famous serial TV shows, it's all canceled. Wow. So, and now with the pandemic, I think a lot Filipinos usually cell phone and the internet on their phones the most of any Asian country, more than China, more than India, and they send more text messages. So they have free YouTube you can watch, so people love YouTube channel. Yeah. So it's the same in Canada, but a lot of Canadian young ones, they like to as well, like subscription services like Netflix or HBO, or I like Disney Plus.
Really?
Because I like the Marvel movies and Star Wars. It's interesting.
I'm not familiar with Disney. What kind of movies? Cartoons or movies?
Well, no, because Disney owns Marvel. You know, Marvel Comics. Disney owns Star Wars. Disney owns National Geographic.
Oh, that's good.
So all of those TV shows are on the Disney Plus application. I like it. I like it. I'm not a big fan of Netflix. I don't like these dramas that everyone's into these days. I find them really kind of a bit boring.
Some orange is black, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, it's a big dilemma because some stuff is interesting from HBO, some from Netflix, but I can't afford to subscribe everywhere.
I know, so I spend like 20 Canadian dollars a month on Netflix and Disney Plus.
So about the movies, second question from my wife. Which movie would you recommend? What movie would you recommend to watch?
That's a good question. Which
Marvels?
Which movie?
Marvel?
Well, I think that's yeah. Why not? I think if you want to understand like modern young North Americans, I think you should try to watch Star Wars. You should try to watch Marvel. You should try to watch those very famous things. I just like it because I grew up with Star Wars, so it's very interesting. But if you prefer other movies, I'd recommend things like that are a bit darker. Like I've watched recently this one, you know, in Star Wars, Obi-Wan Kenobi, and the actor is Ewan McGregor. I don't know.
Of course.
You know him, yes.
English, if I'm not mistaken.
Exactly, yes. And he has a really good movie that I've recently been watching. It's called The Ghost Rider. It's a bit like a thriller. So I like those types of dark dramas as well, yeah. So I'd recommend that. Or Into the Wild, if you've never watched that. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
Into the Ghost Wild. Into the Wild is a beautiful movie,
I see. And this question from me, because I'm trying to read books in English. So my first experience was Booker Prize from 2070. Maybe I told about that. It's about girls, and it's absolutely boring. It's about a lesbian family, about a relationship between mother and daughter, about a lesbian community in London, something like that. However, it's absolutely difficult and boring, and I decided to switch on most familiar for me. It's Stephen King. Have you read Stephen King, some books?
No, not yet. No, I've seen a couple of his movies, but do you watch his movies also?
Yes, I watched a couple of movies, and usually it's real worse than books in Stephen King. For Stephen King.
So I used to watch. I used to read the books from the Man Booker Prize as well, but like you, it's just. I read one in 2008. I like the Indian stories. There was one in 2008 called The White Tiger. It was okay.
Who's the writer? Indian guy?
Indian guy, yes. His name is Aravind.
So my question about Stephen King, is he really popular in English speaking for English speaking people?
Yeah, Stephen King. Yeah, people grow up with him, and I guess those who like that genre, yeah, it's really big. Another big one is Dan Brown.
Dan Brown, yeah, I know. Some kind of
Yeah.
detectives, yeah. Uh-huh.
Yes, yes. He's interesting. I would give his books a chance again, but currently, I'm a real geek. Currently, I'm reading a Star Wars novel and cookbooks. That's what I read cookbooks as well. Like my it's a really good. If you're interested in Filipino.
Filipino. Oh, I see.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic.
Is it a book for recipes? How to cook it?
Exactly.
Ah,
Exactly.
Mhm. What about Star Wars book? Is it based on movie or movie based on the book?
Yeah, it's like it's what we call a spin-off. You know
Spin-off.
what I mean?
Uh-huh.
So it's not. I don't read the ones about the movies because I can watch the movie.
Ah,
It's like
I
an
see, I see.
extra story.
Uh-huh.
This one is
About Empire. Uh-huh.
about the Empire. Yeah, about
Uh-huh.
a different emperor. Yeah, or something like that. Yeah.
Mhm.
What about you? You're reading Stephen King?
Yeah, I'm reading Stephen King, and occasionally it's a book about pandemic or epidemic. It's a second book of Stephen King, The Stain.
The Stain, eh?
Yeah, it's about some leakage of deadly virus in a military base of United States in California, and
Wow.
mortality rate is about 99%.
Ah,
Yeah.
he's really old now, isn't he? I think he's like 72 or 75,
Mhm.
something
Yeah,
like that.
72.
Yeah.
And I subscribed in Twitter for Stephen King.
Nice.
He is anti-Trump guy. He always
Oh, is he?
criticize and he's calling Trump idiot or something like that.
Oh, really? Hey?
Yeah.
Interesting situation. Yeah. Well, that's fantastic. Yeah, that was good. Those were good questions. Yeah, thanks to your wife and kids.
Uh-huh.
They had some great questions there. Yeah, that was nice.
Next class. Okay, thank you.
For sure. Sounds good, man. Take care. Eh?
Take
Have a
care.
good
Bye
one.
bye.
See you.